How can you compare RBI totals fairly across baseball eras? Imagine trying to compare the number of runs driven in by players from different times in baseball history. It's like comparing apples to oranges if you don't adjust for the environment they played in. Runs batted in, or RBIs, are a key part of understanding a player's ability to produce runs, but they don't tell the whole story on their own. To make a fair comparison, you need to look at the context behind those numbers. First, consider how many runs teams scored in different eras. Back in the 1920s and 1930s, during what's called the live ball era, teams scored a lot more runs, which naturally led to higher RBI totals. In contrast, the dead ball era and wartime periods had fewer runs overall. So, a player with 100 RBIs in a high-scoring era might have faced easier opportunities than someone with the same total in a low-scoring time. To compare fairly, you can adjust RBI totals based on the league's average runs per game. This way, you see how much a player contributed relative to the environment they played in. Next, think about how long the season was. Early baseball seasons had fewer games, so players had fewer chances to drive in runs. Today's players play 162 games, but players from earlier times might have played fewer games. Comparing total RBIs without considering games played can be misleading. Instead, look at RBIs per game or per plate appearance. These rate stats give a clearer picture of a player's run-producing ability regardless of season length. Team context also matters. Players batting in the middle of the lineup, like third or fourth, usually get more RBI opportunities because they come up with runners on base more often. If you compare a cleanup hitter from a powerhouse team to a leadoff hitter from a weaker team, the raw totals won't tell the full story. Adjusting for batting order position or team offensive strength helps isolate the player's individual skill. Advanced metrics like RBI plus or era adjusted RBI metrics can help too. These scale a player's RBI total relative to league averages, so you see how they performed compared to others in their time. They help neutralize the effect of era-specific scoring environments. Power metrics like slugging percentage and home runs also matter. Since RBIs depend partly on teammates getting on base, combining RBI totals with these power stats gives a fuller view of a player's run production. Finally, remember rule changes and equipment differences. The introduction of the designated hitter, changes in ball composition, and ballpark sizes all influence scoring and RBI opportunities. When comparing players across eras, it's important to acknowledge these factors. So, if you want to compare a player from the 1930s who drove in 191 runs to a modern player with fewer RBIs, you need to adjust the older player's total downward based on the high-scoring environment of their era. Conversely, you might adjust the modern player's total upward to account for a lower-scoring environment. This way, you're comparing their run-producing skills fairly, not just raw totals. In short, to fairly compare RBI totals across baseball eras, you need to normalize for league scoring environments, season length, team context, and use adjusted or rate metrics. This approach helps you see the true ability of players to produce runs, regardless of when they played.